Paula P. Works here, coming to you once again with One Piece chapter 1135 entitled Camaraderie Cups. I hope everyone had a very happy holiday season. We've still got New Year's coming up, so that will be cool. And I think, yeah, this will be the final chapter of the year. And we have Luffy on the cover of Jump again this week, and he's painted in this very cool watercolor style. Very nice. I love it. A lot of purples too. Very cool. Very cinematic if you ask me. But we have a continuation of our cover story, volume 21 of the Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, in which Otama kicks Hold'em in the face. Well, bam! That's cool. I'm glad. Now she can feed him and his weird lion thing dongos and make them both slaves. Fitting. I like it. I like that a chief officer of Kaido's former organization is getting mollywopped by a child. This is good. This is good. I hate Hold'em. This is good. Good Tama. Very good. So yeah, he is defeated. What I like about this chapter, one, we have to admit we're wrong. I was wrong about Colon. I recently did a video saying that Colon may be the son of Jaguar D. Saul. That is not true. What we do find out is that he is the child of Ripley, the biology teacher. And he is, I guess, our first canonical human hybrid giant, as his father was a human. And he, I guess, is on Elbaf, and apparently he's a very strong pirate. But he and his mother, even though the wedding is not formal, seeing as how he would be the only one to grow old, they're still considered married. So that's neat. And now we know, yeah, humans can breed with giants and make giant children. I wonder who the father is. Now, the father could be a D. That's a very possible thing. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. But I love Ripley. She's great. Ripley's a very cool character. And oh yeah, the bartender we find out is Mato. Her name is Mato. I thought she was the mother. I honestly did. I'll put the link to the video up here so you can see how wrong I was. But yeah. We'll have to see who his father is, but his father might be a D. And yes, the bartender's name is Mato-san. So that's cool. That's cool. But what I was right about, and what I thought might be the case, and this is kind of a big deal. I'm sure no one would think this is a big deal but me. However, Bebelot is the head librarian of the Owl Library. He's the owl that we saw in the previous chapter. And like I thought, he was the one who does gigantify the books through his ability called the rear fruit, making him a nurturing owl. And I guess that's rear as like into rear a child, as to raise something to make it grow. So yeah. And he can affect inorganic things. So that makes you think, can he affect organic things? I don't know. But why this is a big deal is because he is the first animal in the series to have a paramecia fruit. I talked about this at like several shorts and such a while ago. But yeah, I was always wondering when that shoe was going to drop and when we actually were going to see an animal with a paramecia ability. And here we are. He has a paramecia power. So that's really cool. Now we just have to wait and see when is there going to be an animal with a Logia fruit. That's got to happen at some point too. So I'm really excited. And yeah, he's a giant owl too, with a paramecia. So that's double. Not only is he an owl, but he's a giant owl with that type of ability. So that's really cool. We also find out that, yeah, Elbaf is not associated with the world government. So the giants just get newspapers via the fishermen who bring papers back so they can read them. So I don't know how that works. But yeah, they don't get news coup normally because Elbaf is not associated with the world government, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, I get that. Yeah, we see Luffy and Usopp hanging out with giant children. He's playing a bit too rough with them because they are not warriors of Elbaf. But it seems like the only warrior is Cullen because he was raised by his mother. who doesn't know the old ways of Elbaf. And when he attacks Luffy, Luffy retaliates with a elephant gun, which is crazy. You're attacking a child with an elephant gun. But yeah, it's a misfire, or it's a warning shot rather, which is very funny. But Cola thinks that's cool, so everything's fine. And his mother is very proud of him that he had a very solid strike. So that's cool. That's cool. I like the little family. I like them a lot. They're great. They're funny. And Mato packed lingo berries or Ligon berries for Ripley. So that's interesting. So the guy that Mato mentions must be around here somewhere. I wonder how big of a character he's going to be because he's a fearless pirate character. I wonder. I hope he's a D. I kind of do. I wonder though. I wonder. Or you know, it'd be crazy if his dad was Shiki. That'd be wild. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if his dad was Shiki? Because I mean, that's the only piece of the puzzle that remains obscured at this point. Because we do see Shiki fairly early. We see Shiki when the guys are approaching Elbaf and he's on the coast. So I mean, hey, if Shiki's banging boots with a giant, that's kind of cool, actually. But yeah, continuing, our parties are being split up here. So we have Robin, Chopper, and presumably Bonnie are going to stay behind, and Lilith is staying behind to get her resident permit because we know she's going to build a lab here on Elbaf. I hope Bonnie's not staying on Elbaf. I hope not. I hope not. But this follows Frankie being very interested in the Atom Tree, and yet again we find out that there are multiple treasure tree atoms like around the world, but the one in Elbaf seems to be the oldest. So that's interesting. That's interesting. And now we have our actual adventuring party. We have Brook, we have Frankie, Jinbei, Usopp, and Luffy. Also Sanji, and I guess Zoro too. Zoro just kind of disappears now that I think about it. Wait, let me go through the chapter real quick. Did we? Yeah. Oh no, Zoro's drinking. Okay, he's just really. Yeah, no, Zoro's at the party later. Okay. I was weirded out, like, wait a minute, Zoro just disappeared, but no, yeah, he's with the adventure party as well. So Robin, Chopper, and Bonnie presumably are staying behind because Robin and Chopper are interested in the library. Robin's interested because she wants to, of course, sit with Saul, and Chopper wants to study the medical books. So that's really cool. And I forgot to mention, we do see Chopper and Bonnie earlier on in the chapter, and I thought that was really neat. Bonnie's got her little stockings back. I know, she's back in her normal outfit. So that's interesting. That's cool. But yeah, moving on. The other Straw Hats have gotten their Elbaf gear now. And yet again, Jinbei is in the same kind of outfit he's always in. I don't know what's up with that. Like, he never really changes how he looks. Because he's still wearing a cape, he's still wearing a kilt. And that's just how every outfit has been forever. The only interesting detail about Jinbei's outfit is that his belt buckle has a big dragon on it, and all these clothes that the Straw Hats are wearing now were made by girls. So that's cute. So she's got a similar hobby to Ro, but she's a bit more kind about it. Brook is looking great. Brook's got his Viking helmet. His sword is in a proper sheath. It still has the cane end to it, but yeah, it looks like it's in like a different sheath. That's interesting. And he's got a shield, which is new for him. Frankie has a beard, which I wonder if that's a fake beard or if you hold in his nose for longer, will the hair from his head go to his chin? I wonder if that's the case. But if not, I don't know. We'll have to see. I guess it's the second time technically he's worn a beard in the series because back in Dressrosa, his getup did compose of a beard when they were undercover. So that's kind of cool. And then Robin has a very kind of sexy outfit, actually. I like her Elbaf outfit. She's got a little capelet. It is very alluring, like sarong-like dress. Kind of like what she wears in her post-time skip key design a little bit. I like it, though. It looks like it's made of a lot of leather flaps. It's very cool, very stylish. I like it a lot. So, yeah, those are our Straw Hats. Those are our Straw Hats who did not have Elbaf gear. Now they do. What's interesting, too, is that Frankie's arms look like barrels of booze. That's funny. I always liked. See, that's the difference though, because Frankie seems to have so many different like styles to his look, even though based on how ridiculous he looks in the post time skip, which I know a lot of people don't like his design in the post time skip. I always have. I guess initially I was a bit put off by it, but I really did grow to like it. But it's weird that you would think he would be very, I guess, stunted in terms of what he would be able to look like. But Oda really does pull out all the stops for Frankie. No matter where they're at, Frankie always looks fairly unique. There's always room to really make him look distinguished and interesting in every arc he's in with the culture of that arc. Even when he's just wearing a regular suit in Dressrosa, it still looks cool. All the variations of that suit throughout the arc are cool. Whether he's wearing the beard and the bowler hat or he's just wearing the suit and he's fighting Senor Pink, it still looks really cool. But with Jinbei, I don't know. No matter what you're looking at, either the manga or like other material, like say Film Red, he's always in an outfit that has the same kind of beats to it. He's always wearing a skirt or a kilt or something, and he's always wearing a cape. The only thing that changes is if he's wearing a shirt or not. And the shirt is either a regular shirt or it's a Jinbei. It's a robe. And it's weird because there's always like a weird analogy to the robe at some point. There always is. Because there's always some sort of kilt in the theme of his outfit, as to show like he's pulling his arms out of the robe and it's just falling down past his waist. That's what the theme always seems to be, or the robe has extended past his knee. That's what it always is, and I'm just kind of weirded out by this because it never changes. And it's weird because Oda's done his type of body type in different clothes before. I keep looking back to Tom. Tom was a big round dude and he wore pants. So it's just like weird that no matter where they're at, Jinbei just looks the same. It's so odd. Even like we consider the top knot, either like here, he keeps the regular top knot, or like say in a Film Red, it's just increased to be a big ponytail. But it's still basically the same thing. You're never going to see him in dreadlocks or a big afro, or I don't know, you're never going to see him in jeans and a jacket, or jeans and just bare chested. And you know what's so weird? People keep saying, I don't know if this is true, people keep saying that the whale shark aspect of his design is on his back because you know how whale sharks have spots. I want to see that because we have never, ever seen his back. We've never seen his back before. If I'm not mistaken, we have never seen Jinbei's back. So it's just weird that, well, he just doesn't change his design. I don't know. It's just odd. But yeah, they're going to the bar to party, and we get another scene of our two mysterious intruders. And the castle is called the Oust Castle, which is where King Harold used to be. But while they are approaching these two giant guards in said castle, the woman with the person who we presume to be Shanks does a weird thing and brings one of the giant guards to his knees. Do I still think this is Uta? Yeah, I do. I kind of do. Because, I don't know, keeping this vague is interesting. The vagueness is interesting. Because it makes you think some things. I don't know. But yeah, she takes the giant guard down with this weird power. And you just hear the sound effect bog. And it keeps going bog, bog, bog. So the fact that it's even sound is interesting. I don't know if this... And then like do-do-do. Do-do-do is a sound effect, is it not? So is she emitting sound that is giving the giant a heart attack or something like that? I don't know, but it's weird that the sound is apparently what's doing this, which makes me think this could be the canonical variant of the Sing Sing fruit. And the reason why I say that is because I was right about the owl having the Moramor fruit. The same fruit that Birdie World has. It's very similar. The only thing that it doesn't have is the speed effect that Birdie World had. because Birdie World's more and more fruit increase the velocity of things. So the fact that it's the same thing, but just not speed oriented is interesting. So yeah, no, I was right. I was actually right about him having this canonical version of a filler fruit. That's why I'm saying, I don't know. I hold my hands up. I don't know. We're going to have to see. This could be the arc where a lot of filler stuff from movies and filler like arc specials become real. I don't know. I don't know. We still have to find out who Mosa is, because I thought that was weird too, that Mosa has the same kind of wording as the Mosa Mosa no Mi, which is the grow fruit. Don't know. So we'll have to see. We will have to see. But this is very interesting indeed. I do like to also, first off, the banquet scene is incredible. I love everybody celebrate. That's cool. But then we get a little rundown of all the giants that we've met throughout the journey. Brocky and Dory are thanking them for defending their pride. Oimon and Kashi are thanking them for freeing them after they were fooled. And then Haruden is thanking them for saving him from being erased, because as you know, he was afflicted by the Toy fruit. So yeah, very cool. And then we actually get to meet Stanson in a formal way, and Luffy remembers him from Sabaody. And yeah, then we get a little cutscene how we got with Haruden a few chapters back, and how this was the same guy that was with Rayleigh back in the auction house scene when the Straw Hats visited Sabaody Archipelago. So that's really cool. I'm glad they actually brought that up, because I've said it multiple times now, but I don't think it was ever actually mentioned verbatim. His name was said, his position as shipwright was said, which is going to be cool, him meeting Frankie, but I don't think it was ever like said like beat for beat, like, yeah, this is the same guy from back then. And apparently he was captured when he was taking a nap. So that's weird. Yeah, they saved him. And then we have Mountain Beard Jarl coming in. He's got a sword through his head. He says he's thankful that the sword was blocked by his helmet, yet it's going right through his head. So I don't know how that's going on. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, apparently at 408 years old, he's the oldest giant now in the world. Insane. So he's the oldest. He's the oldest in the world now. So yeah, now we have another character who is the most of something. We have Lilith being now the smartest person in the world because she is Vegapunk. And now we have the oldest giant in the world being Mountain Beard Jarl. So that's pretty sick. It's also very interesting, and I didn't know this because there's never been a comparison before, I don't think, how big Jarl is over Brogy. Oh my god. He's huge. But it's weird that he's probably still not as big as an ancient giant. Insane. Also, on the topic of giants, and this is a blink and you'll miss it sort of thing, but back at the schoolhouse when Cullen and Luffy are fighting, there's this one random little girl, right, who has horns sticking out of her head. So what is she? Is this a simple headdress? Or is she a baby ancient giant? Or is she like a mixed breed? So like, is she an ancient giant mixed with giant? Or an ancient giant mixed with human? Because from Cullen existing, we know that now Buccaneers can't simply be half giants. They just simply can't be human mixed with giant. So there has to be something special about them. Same with Onis. So Onis or ogres simply can't be humans mixed with ancient giant. There has to be some sort of special break off with them. I'm not saying that either one can't be giant related, and we know that's most likely not even true because Buccaneers have said to have giant blood within them. So we know that they are related to giants in some way, and probably the same thing is true for Onis, because I can't imagine that they're not related to ancient giants, seeing as how from even way back in Thriller Bark, if you want to count that, with Moria, who presumably could be an Oni, we were introduced to ancient giants through him in Oars, right? Then with, say, way back in Marineford, we're introduced to an ancient giant again through a Buccaneer, presumably in Whitebeard, and then a Oni, Moria, attacks him because he wants his body. So it's like, what I'm getting at is that there's too much relationships going on between the four of them, between Giants, Ancient Giants, Buccaneers, and Onis, and it just keeps kind of swirling around in various parts of the story. Another big one would be, of course, well, again, when you're talking about Thriller Bark, because Kuma visits Thriller Bark, and that's his really big showcase as a character. And as we know now, he is a Buccaneer. So even, again, back to Thriller Bark, that was our first showing of what a Buccaneer could do. Then, again, Marineford. Then we have going forward into Wano with all the Ancient Giants in the numbers, and then we have Kaido and Yamato and possibly Who's Who are all Onis, and then of course Ulti in page 1. Then forward even more so into Egghead, we're bringing it back around with more Buccaneers because we have Kuma and his story being revealed. Then we have Kuma's dad, whom's named Clap, and we have Kuma's clone, his proper clone, whom is S-Bear. Then we get an explanation of all his other clones, which are the various Pacifista. So it just feels like it keeps going back around and around again. And I believe also that's when we're introduced to Moria's clone, whom has yet to be named yet, his Seraphim. So yeah, it's weird how we keep touching back on all these points all the time, you know? And then, well, lastly, Brocky and Dory show up at the end of Egghead with their crew, and they of course are giants. So yeah, I mean, it just keeps going around and around again. We keep hitting all these different points with all these different members of these races in different combinations throughout the series, and it's never one by themselves. There's always two of these four all the time, it seems, which is interesting. I don't know what that could mean, but I think that means all of them are related to one another in some way. That has to be the case because it's too repetitious, is what I'm getting at. But with that being said, very good chapter, very wholesome chapter. The plot is moving. I'm happy the plot is moving. I'm happy to see a lot of things going on. The fact that the two intruders want to see Loki is very interesting. I wonder what that's about, or what do they want with Loki, you know? So that's something that we'll be seeing soon, I imagine. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. I don't think there's a break next week, or if there is, we'll have a chapter the week after next week, because I didn't even know there was going to be a chapter this week. It came out early. So we'll just have to see how things go. I am unaware of the scheduling. But yeah, we'll see you next time for chapter 1136. And with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Paula Pete Woods.